Hello, guys, and welcome back to this episode. Today, we are going to talk about the history of eunuchs. Eunuchs, that means just castrated man. The child is drugged with opium and immersed in a bath of very hot water until it falls into a state of complete unconsciousness. Then the scrotum is opened and the testicles are removed. That is how the Treaty on Eunuchs in 1707 explained how to proceed with castration, a practice then common in Italy to breed singers with extraordinary qualities, but which had its roots in antiquity. A dangerous ritual because 2 out of 3 children died of infections and bleeding, but that was deeply linked to religion and, incredible as it might seem, has not yet disappeared. And here I actually should say children, because at the time of the castration they were pretty much children. So let's go ahead and delve into this. The removal of the testicles before puberty prevents the differentiation of the male sex because there is a lack of testosterone. That is, that a hormone produced by the testicles that has that sort of function. Consequences is that penis and prostate remain very small, the voice rises instead of becoming severe, hair and muscles do not grow, and since testosterone has also a function of stimulating sexual desire, the castrate doesn't have any longer any sexual desire. However, there is a possibility, and that possibility is that other hormones of adrenal origin could perform, even though only partially, the function of testosterone. And in this case, there is a eunuch who can, to some extent, have a sexual intercourse. It seems that Farinelli, a famous castrated singer of the 1700s, went to bed with women who were absolutely crazy about him, but at the last moment he was replaced by his brother Ricardo, who was anything but a eunuch. If, on the other hand, castration occurs after puberty, the effects are way less dramatic. The hair is reduced, the skin becomes thinner, and it might even happen that the voice regains feminine tones. As for sexual intercourse, in this case, what is lacking is desire, not technical possibility. Invented by Chinese. As far as it is known, that of the castrates is a Chinese invention dating back at least 5,000 years ago. At that time, castrates were produced to make them guardians of power. Together with masculinity, they lost the possibility of a normal family and of social relationships, and lived in a psychological condition that fluctuated between self-hatred, melancholy, and despair. The only possibility of redemption was absolute loyalty to the Lord, from whom they received in exchange not only honors and titles as guardians of their harem, but also important political and administrative positions. They were also usually masters of ceremonies. Between 1505 and 1510, the eunuch Liu Qin was regent to the throne for the Emperor Huizu. In that period, he violently suppressed a revolt of aristocrats. He had many of those who had public offices beheaded and replaced them with companions in misfortune. But the eunuchs, is very easy to imagine, were still unhappy. Many religiously kept their testicles in a box, recommending that they be buried with them to be complete men at least in the afterlife. From China, the practice, though, spread to the West. The Romans imported it from the Hittites, and specifically there was the cult of Kubaba, deity of fertility and of earth, which the Romans called Cybele. Those who wanted to become her priest had to offer the goddess penis and testicles, like cutting them off themselves with a stone knife during an orgiastic ceremony that took place every year on March 24th. But then the Romans discovered that castrates could also be used for very profane amusements, as their skin remained smooth and hairless, and their body assumed feminine features. So the Romans are also the ones that made a distinction between black castration, which also involved the removal of the penis, and which made the eunuch even more like a woman, and white castration, which saved the penis. The price for a eunuch slave could be 250 times higher than that of a working slave, according to the quality. There was the semivir, which was considered half man, the apparatus, totally castrated, and the mollis, just a little effeminate, and the malacus, endowed with features and movements so feminine that it could pass for a dancer. The Arabs learned the usefulness of eunuchs late because Muhammad, the Prophet, had forbidden castration for both humans and animals. They discovered castration only around 750 when they conquered Persia, where the custom had come from China. Not only did they immediately forget the precept of the Prophet, but they set up a vast and efficient system of production and distribution, as they were particularly suitable as guardians of harems of the caliph, and more in general, not only caliphs, but also sultans and sheikhs. Slaves from Byzantium, China, Nubia, Ethiopia, and Europe were taken to specialized castration centers located in Samarkand, the Egyptian city of Asyut, or the Armenian city of Derbent, to be sold in the markets of Baghdad or Cairo. Then there was a time when white voices sang instead of women. Mulier tacit in ecclesia. The woman in church must be silent, and if she cannot speak, let alone sing. To comply with this requirement and still have singers who could perform the female parts, thousands of children were emasculated in Italy between the 17th and 18th centuries, and even at the height of the 19th century. Their use then spread also in secular musical performances. Castration was done before puberty, that is, before the voice changes. In theory, the result could be excellent. A female voice was obtained, however, emitted by a male chest, which can contain much more hair, and through male vocal cords, which need less air to vibrate and can therefore hold a note longer. They could even cover 3.5 octaves, an unusual vocal range. The practice of using eunuchs in the Vatican choir was banned only in 1878. The last person that was castrated, that was a eunuch, was still singing in the Sixtine Chapel in 1922. His name was Alexander Maresky, and a German music critic wrote, "I did not believe the human voice could be the most extraordinary of all musical instruments until I listened to Maresky." And today, do they still exist? There is currently no equivalent of eunuchs of the past, unless you go and look in some feudal recesses in Middle East. Furthermore, we cannot consider those who undergo a change of sex as such. This is a free choice which involves a total transformation of genital organs in order to make the subject completely female, while eunuchs of the time tended not to cancel their being male. Certainly though, there are still some eunuchs, specifically the followers, more than 1 million, of the Indian goddess Paucharamata. They must not have anything that is masculine. They tend not to expose themselves. Castration is prohibited by law in India. However, there it is possible to meet eunuchs. Indian law prohibits castration, and therefore those who violate it surround themselves with secrecy. There are still Ishvaras, 1 million followers though of this goddess, whose cult requires them to completely get rid of any trace of masculinity. They come out only in ceremonies of weddings and births, in which they participate by celebrating rites to promote luck and prosperity. And by the way, an American journalist, Jeffrey, said in 1995 that she personally collected evidence of the existence of castrated men in Goa, on the west coast of India, in a secret market for eunuch slaves, which are sold to serve in the harems of the Middle East. Now, guys, with that being said, this is all I got for you. So let me know what you think. Don't forget to comment below. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts then. Also, if you have enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell if you want to receive any new update. We'll talk some more next time. Bye!